The Lankavatara makes reference to two kinds of death which take place in the life of a bodhisattva. The first is the natural death, which is acquired as the result of his past karma committed through his evil passions and outflowings. The other is, quote, inconceivable transformation death. This happens to the subtle body of a bodhisattva, which he assumes as the consequence of his karma and intellectual hindrance which has not yet been thoroughly destroyed. The life limit of this supermaterial body is indefinite, as it depends upon the original vows of the bodhisattva. If his compassionate heart makes him wish to live eternally among mortal beings in order to save the last one, he may live in this body until then. And again, he may have it in any size he desires, and be able to perform wonderful deeds of all kinds, and also go through as many transformations as required. He achieves this spiritual existence when he enters upon the path of bodhisattvahood. It will be quite an interesting study to inquire into the historical facts which prompted Buddhist scholars to conceive the idea of a spiritual body which could be acquired as the outcome of one's moral training. There is no doubt that the Manomayakaya is the forerunner of the Nirmanakaya as one of the triple body, and that all these conceptions were needed by early Mahayanists to interpret the religious significance of the historical Sakyamuni side by side with the conception of Dharmakaya. The inner realization referred to in the Manomayakaya is the common property of all the Buddhas. And when a bodhisattva attains this insight into his inmost being, he has thereby attained the passport into the spiritual community of all the Buddhas, past, present, and future. If a critic insists that this subjectivity ought to be verified objectively, that is, must have some objective ground on which the experience is to be set up, the Lankavatara says that there is something that has been in existence from the timeless past, or thingness that abides eternally in things, or an absolute reality that exists regardless of the appearance or non-appearance of the Buddhas. This reality exists in the world as gold exists concealed in the ore, for it is this that makes things abide, makes them arrange themselves in order, and establish a realm among themselves, and constitutes their essence. It is eternally there. It is the suchness of things. Therefore, when the bodhisattvas or Buddhas attain to realization, the experience is not something altogether new to them. It is an old story, as it were. It is like walking in an old city which one happens to discover in the midst of the desert. The streets are smoothly paved as ever. One enters into it and quietly enjoys a peaceful life. The Buddha did not create these things. They have been there from the beginning. The Dharma he has an insight into is something enduring, a regulative principle, and suchness of things. It is reality, truth, and it was for this reason that the Buddha declared that ever since his enlightenment night he had not uttered a word. This is indeed, according to the Lankavatara, the esoteric teaching of Buddhism. This something that has been in existence from the timeless past is the doctrine of universal alaya vijnana, ontologically stated. It consists in realizing the originally abiding Dharma, which is variously described as Tathagatagarbha, the alaya, suchness of things. It is beyond the signs of speech, analysis, and description, and in it all the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and sentient beings are united and have an ever-enduring community, nirvana. But the function of the bodhisattva is not to stay forever in this happy society, but to come into a world of particulars. His vows are to be fulfilled, and in this he is said truly to be a bodhisattva.